My guest tonight is super energetic, and this is your warning right now that she is also super profane, and I have given her full freedom to be just as profane as she darn well pleases. I will probably be profane too, so if that is not to your taste, this is your warning. But if you're here anyways, you also click through the mature content thing, so I sure hope you're alright with it, because profane or not, her energy is super infectious. She has a great personality. I'm so happy to have her here this evening. Please welcome my guest tonight, Bri.
Hello? Hi.
Hey, I warned you.
Hello?
Hello.
The minute someone talks about my energy, I'm like, you're right.
Oh no, sorry. I don't mean to put pressure on you or anything.
No. It's a hype. I don't know why, but the minute someone says like, oh my god, yeah, she's super high energy, I start vibrating. I'm like, you're so right, I am. Holy shit, I forgot that I'm high energy. I don't know, cause I don't know. I just feel like I'm me all the time, and I don't notice a lot about my personality like until I started streaming, and everyone's like, wow, you're really high energy. Wow, you're really cursed. I'm like, I don't know, I'm just me.
Well, I'm glad to remind you of how awesome you are. And folks in the chat, please let me know if the audio levels are good. I think they are, but, you know, sometimes stuff happens. But Bri, so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I get the feeling that most people in the chat already know who you are, but for anyone who doesn't, if you could introduce yourself.
I will do my an actual introduction, and then afterwards I will do my normal introduction that I do whenever people come into my stream, because that also perfectly shows off my personality. But I am a bunny VTuber. I'm very profane. I use the fuck word a lot. I say it a shit ton. I don't even notice that I'm saying it half the time. I'm really loud. I don't really stream any specific games or anything like that. I don't really have a type of game that I stream. I just kind of stream whatever that takes my fancy, because I have ADHD and I get bored really easily. I think that's it. As for my normal stream intro, hi, I'm Bri. I say the fuck word a lot, and I fucked your mother. Hello. That's it.
Hello. Yep. And also warn people of that in the announcement tweet, because I was like, all right, you know, whenever I prep a announcement tweet for a guest, it's okay. I want to put in a couple of things that sort of tell people about their personality. And I think for you, I put she's passionate, she's profane, she fucked your mom last night, she's BriAtCookiebox. And I was like, I think that gets Bri in a nutshell pretty well.
Yeah. That's usually how I introduce myself, but then I started getting shadow banned on Twitter because I kept swearing and saying that I fucked people's mothers, and now I have to say it a little less. I just got like temp banned on TikTok because I posted a video of like my normal introduction, so I was like swearing a bunch, and so I got temp banned for a few days, and then I got shadow banned on Twitter. Clearly, people don't respect my humor.
Obviously, but hey, you're in good company. Even like, you know, Kiara from HoloLive has been banned for less than that, so it's nothing personal there for sure.
Yeah. It happens, you know. Oh well, what's gonna happen?
Yeah. So, one thing I always think about when I have guests on is, how did I first find out about them? Sometimes I'm rated into them, sometimes I'm recommended them by somebody else. I think, if memory serves for you, it was the Twitch recommendation algorithm actually working for once.
Ooh.
And just, you know, the bottom sidebar where it says channels you might like, that you were listed there, and what caught my eye was the fact that you were playing Desert Bus. And Desert Bus is a game and a charity that I have mentioned several times on the stream before, and it is one that is very near and dear to my heart, and not many people play Desert Bus, and for good reason. It's an awful game. So whenever I see someone playing it, that immediately draws my attention. So I tuned in, and I think you were probably somewhere around 4 hours into your run, and right away I was already impressed with, okay, she's serious about this. She's made it this far. She's not just gonna, you know, crash or, you know, throw or whatever. And I stayed in, chatted a bit, had a good time. I think I actually got to share with you information about Desert Bus for Hope.
Yeah, you did. I remember that.
And I tuned back in later to see you eventually get to Vegas at the 8-hour mark, which is always a very, very hype moment. And I could tell that you were happy too, because you were understandably tired at that point.
I was so exhausted. I had no idea. Like that, I'm so proud of that stream, genuinely, because that was like a challenge, and like not in like a like it was hard because you really have nothing going on, and I can't like talk about the game if I run out of things to say or anything like that. I don't have anything to fall back on. It was literally just like I have to fill 8 hours of content, and I can't take a break, and I can't stop to do anything. I just have to shove information at the screen and not stop talking for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And that was a lot, because I don't have, like, gameplay to look at or the comments on.
From chat's perspective, Desert Bus might as well be a just talking stream, but for the broadcaster's perspective, it is so much more work because you have to be splitting your attention. You're already, running a stream, trying to talk to chat. But now you're also having to just consistently be steering and making sure this bus is going, because for anyone who hasn't played it, Desert Bus is a game where you drive from Tucson, Arizona to Las Vegas, Nevada in real time on a straight road with a bus that has a slight drift to the left.
Yeah, it sucks so much. And as someone from Nevada, so does Nevada. So it's not even like a good ending. Who gives a shit about Las Vegas?
Las Vegas is the super preppy, flashy, popular older sibling who isn't actually as cool as everyone makes him out to be.
No, it sucks. Oh my god. Back when because I'm not from Nevada. I just lived there for a while, and when you drove there, 2 hours out, you would see the color of the sky change like several shades darker, just because of the air and the smog above the city was just so massively impacted, and it was a sudden change. It was impressive, but also kind of terrifying.
Because I've been to Vegas once for a half day, because I was visiting some family for a short time and then had a layover there one time for another flight. And if you look up in the sky there, it is perfectly blue. But I know that, that's how sort of smog works, that from afar you see the difference. But when you're in there, it looks normal.
Yeah, you don't notice it, but definitely, yeah. Oh my god, yeah, because I used to live in Reno, so I would drive from Reno to Las Vegas, and you could tell because it's literally 8 hours of desert and no civilization, and then you just see just a cloud of smog.
Oh jeez. I never even really thought about that before, but you have a really good point. But anyways, so Desert Bus, interestingly enough, is actually, I suppose, a little bit indicative of your taste in games, that your bread and butter as a streamer is high energy stuff, that you are going to be playing higher energy games, but you've said that when on your own time, you enjoy things that are a bit more chill, low energy. You like farming simulators, things that are just, very relaxing.
Yeah, it's not a lot of people notice that because they assume, yelling loud bunny anime girl must like yelling high energy games, but honestly I like to be really low-key, and but that's also because I like to multitask. So usually when I'm playing video games, I'm also usually watching YouTube, listening to music, watching Netflix, and also texting people at the same time. So I like to multitask, and so they're very good. And I go really hard with farming games. I have notepads and Excel spreadsheets and Google Drives filled with notes and statistics based on what is the most optimized pathing and route to getting the most money quickly, and marrying the quickest and stuff like that. I go really, really hard on these games, and that's not really entertaining for chat because I just sit there and look at numbers for 6 hours, and so I don't force chat to look at that.
That's actually really cool. I have a lot of respect for that, because that's super analytical, and I really like that sort of thing.
I used to be a STEM major. I like my math. I like my numbers.
Now, for a game like Animal Crossing, because I know you've played Animal Crossing, what is your opinion of, I suppose, getting super rare items for the purposes of selling? What is your approach in Animal Crossing? Do you find the most efficient way to be fishing, because that's usually how I end up going, or do you go online and just get a lot of money from other trades or sales?
I don't like it's not necessarily cheating, and I respect the people that like time travel or like make connections and get a lot of their shit like through that. But if I do that, I don't see as much value in the hard work that I put in, and so I just kind of quit the game. Like it's the same thing with Sims. If you type in motherload to get like $1 million, I don't feel like there's any point to me playing the game to get more money if I can just get it that way. So I just stopped playing the game. So like in Animal Crossing, even though they're like the most quote unquote optimized way to do shit is like going online and like selling your turnips 1 million things at a time by going to like the person with the highest stats, I would rather like do it the hard way. And like I did sell turnips, but I had like a friend group we would go to and we would like discuss among the fruit group. I wouldn't go on like lie and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I did. That I think I had probably a pool of like 5-10 friends between a couple of groups, and it was just all right. Everyone first thing in the morning post your turnip prices, and if somebody gets a spike, then everyone goes over there. But
there was someone who had like wrote like a math statistics that they did every single Monday, so they would keep track and they would like tell us in the group who would have the spike and who would have the highest spike. So like Thursday we would figure out who had the highest and we would go to them in like our little small group because they really like statistics. It was great.
Yeah, there's actually a website. I don't remember what the URL is, but I did find a website where you could type in, all right, what did you have last week? What are your prices now? And that it would tell you those odds of, you're likely to have a large spike this week or a small spike, or you're just going to have gradual decline. Yeah, that was interesting. But I really like your approach that you want to get as much as you can, as optimally as possible, but you want it to be something that you feel you have done yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
That's super cool. Do you have a favorite villager in Animal Crossing?
Coco. She just needs more love in her life. Like, for the same reason that Mimikyu is my favorite Pokemon, they just need more love, and I want to give it to them, and also her hands look like penises, and I think that's funny.
I've never seen that in her hands before, but now I'm sure I'll never be able to unsee it.
They're little nubs, and they're tan-colored, and they have a little ring around them, and they just look like them, and it's so funny to me.
Well, yep, there you go. Can't unsee it. For people who aren't familiar with Animal Crossing, Coco is a very unique villager. She's supposed to be a bunny, so, again, not surprising that you're a fan of her because funny, but she's designed after a in-game thing called a gyroid, which, funny enough, doesn't actually appear in New Horizons, but basically it's sort of this almost possessed doll robot type of thing. She has these large, just black, unseeing eyes. There are no pupils, there are no irises, it is just black holes, and her mouth is a black hole. And at a glance, she is very cursed. But she's so sweet. She's so wonderfully sweet.
She is. Oh my god, I love her so much, and she's so terrifying, but like in the best of ways. She just needs love.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Plus, also, just the normal villager type is probably my favorite. That I feel like they have the most, almost ironically, just the widest personalities because, the jocks are very pigeonholed with a lot of their stuff.
Oh god, yeah.
And the grumpy ones are just rah, rah, rah. But normal ends up having, they can be happy, they can be sad. They're just very sweet in general.
They technically renamed it, I think, to Sweets, in New Horizons, because the translation of the game, normal isn't normal. It's translated to sweet. They just said that it was normal forever ago, and they stuck with it. But because it's been like so ingrained in us that it's called the normal personality type,
that's what we still think of it.
That's everyone just calls it normal, even though even the wiki and stuff it says sweet and shit.
To be fair, sweet is definitely a better descriptor than normal in my opinion.
Oh yeah, for sure. Normal sounds so shit. Like, oh, what's your personality? I don't know, average. I don't know, generic. Oh, it's boring. It sucks. It's mean.
Do you have any favorite pastime in Animal Crossing, or did you do anything particularly fun with your island once you got terraforming?
Okay, so I really like to grind in video game. I like to just I like to sit there for 16 hours straight, and just do the exact same thing over and over again. So I would, in Animal Crossing, I would just sit there and catch my fucking peacock butterflies and tarantulas, like, over and over again, forever and ever and ever. And I really like the monotony of, like, doing your dailies every single day and, like, finding, like, the gem and finding, like, the money trees and the furniture and stuff like that. Fucking love doing that. And that's my favorite pastime, just, like, dailies that don't take a lot of concentration so I can watch Netflix while I'm doing them. Like, chef's kiss. I'm really boring. I'm very boring off stream.
I totally understand that because I am a diehard Animal Crossing fan. I've played every game since GameCube, and I completely understand that mentality. My go-to thing is fishing more than bugs. For whatever reason, I enjoy the little challenge of, waiting for the moment that the bobber goes down as opposed to creeping up on the bugs. But that's what I will do for hours on end. That's how I grind, and I get most of my bells to pay off the loan. When it came to terraforming, I am completely uncreative. I sort of neatened up the different areas of my island that I felt were, just awkwardly shaped or imperfect, and it made it cleaner. But at that point in the game, I had gotten so used to the overall layout of my island, I didn't want to change it, and I'm also just, frankly, not creative enough to think of any of this, super cool designs that some people made. I love going to other islands and seeing what people have made. But for whatever reason, I'm good at a lot of things. But when you give me a giant sandbox like that, I don't really know what to build. I might make something small that I like, but I'm not good with those large, grandiose, island-wide designs.
I was always amazed by, like, the really high, like the city builds and stuff like that, where people would fuck with the perception or the perspective and stuff like that, where, like, the silos actually look like castle towers, and, like,
those are so
the
cool.
mini cars looked like real cars just at the bottom of a cliff. Like, all of that was really, really cool. I couldn't do that, so I was just like cottagecore dream, because I figured out how to do that. And that's actually how I started my Twitter. Was I uploaded a video of me walking through a path that I had built, and I got like 100 likes on it, and I was so amazed that so many people looked at my video. And so, like, I started uploading more on my Twitter, and then it became what I am now. But yeah, that's how I started. Little baby me with cottagecore dreams.
Yeah. Gosh. And it's weird to think that, Animal Crossing was supposed to come out in October of 2019, but got delayed to March of 2020. And goodness, that feels like a stroke of fate, because Animal Crossing was there when the world needed it.
Yeah, oh my god, it genuinely was. I remember way back in the day where I was like, I sure hope COVID is done by March 19th or whatever, because I need to go to GameStop to go pick up the game, and I don't want GameStop to be shut down. I hope it's over by then. When it had been, like, shutdown had been in effect for 2 weeks. And so in my brain, that was perfectly reasonable. And I remember thinking way back in the day, like, I sure hope COVID's lockdown ends in 2 weeks.
I think most people thought it might be. And I remember, I think that was probably the first time I had gone out of my apartment after lockdown. Was, just, I was wearing a mask at that point. I think I even was, like, wearing gloves or whatnot, because I was super paranoid, because it was very early on and everyone was still acclimating to it. And just the whole trip was going out so I could go to Target and pick up my copy of Animal Crossing and go right back to my apartment and install, and there we go.
I ended up canceling it. I just bought it on my Switch because I was so terrified to go outside.
Yeah.
I just did the digital download, even though I had no space. I had to delete every single other game from my Switch to do it. But fuck it, it was worth it, because I really wanted to play Animal Crossing so badly.
Yep. Animal Crossing, absolutely just the savior of 2020.
Oh my god, yeah. And, like, I started, like, that's how I met a lot of streamer friends, and how I met a lot of art friends that got me into streaming. Like, if I didn't have Animal Crossing, I wouldn't be the streamer that I am today. Like, thank God for Animal Crossing.
Oh, that's so cool. I actually did not know that it had that much of an impact, so that's really cool. And one more reason to love Animal Crossing, because it gave us Bree.
Yeah!
Now, outside of Animal Crossing, you're also into other ones, Stardew, Harvest Moon. You've said that Story of Seasons is, I think, just one of your favorite games of all time.
Yeah, it's partly nostalgic for me because I'm a very sentimental ass person. So like if there was anything that had like an impact on me in any way, like shape or form, like emotional anything, I will love it to pieces and I will like romanticize it. So because Harvest Moon was one of the first main games that I played way back, like Harvest Moon, Another Wonderful Life on my GameCube when I was like
I remember
6.
that game.
Yeah, oh my god, I had the girl version. I hated all of the bachelors. I should have realized I liked girls then, but I didn't, because I'm stupid. But I hated all of the guys I had to date, and I remember playing that game religiously, along with Animal Crossing. And, I like, romanticized that game so much, and so I still love it to pieces. I suck at finishing the game. I don't think I've ever finished a farming sim, ever, because I lose, like, the motivation to play it. But I still adore it and love it and play it a whole bunch and restart the game over and over again and like, yeah, that's it.
Have you ever played Rune Factory?
Yeah, I played Rune Factory 4 on my Switch. Actually, around the time Animal Crossing came out and was really, really big. I started it, I played like 40 hours in it over the span of 2 days, and then saw how much upgrading there was required of me, and then got overwhelmed, and then quit the game.
Oh no!
I would love to go back to it because I really enjoyed it, and also I had a crush on every single girl in that video game, but I don't have the time anymore.
Yeah, you're busy with streaming and all of the other things.
Yeah.
And so there's farming sims. You've also said that you really like indie titles.
Yeah, I'm trying to start playing more indie titles like on stream and stuff like that. So like this week I'm playing Ib, that horror game where you're a girl in like a painting like museum and stuff. And I want to play like the Witch's House, and I want to play the Count Lucanor, and I want to play a whole bunch of like tinier games. And I also signed up for a lot of indie games. Like, there's a website you can go if you're a streamer that you sign up and be like, hey, I would love to play your game on stream and give you, like, recognition. And then they just give you a key to their game. And then you play it and you give them recognition and they give you a free game. And I signed up for a bunch of those, too, because I like indie games a lot. I respect them so much.
That's super cool. I didn't know that there was a service like that, but it makes perfect sense that, that way you just have the matchmaking of, okay, if you're an indie developer, sign up for this and we can get your stuff over to streamers, and for streamers, like you said, it just gives you free stuff and it lets you try all these new and different games. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I love those games so much. And like I used to want to go to school to be a game dev until I realized school doesn't work for me. And so I respect them so much, and like the work that goes into, especially as like an indie person where you have to do all of the steps by yourself. That's a shit ton, man. So I respect them. I will give them exposure as much as I can. I will support them.
Yeah, I wanted to be a game developer when I was young. I took one coding class and realized I was shit at it. But I realized I was okay at promotions and, businessy stuff, so I went to school for that, and then my current full-time work actually is as a QA lead, because I started as community manager and then moved into QA work at a mobile game developer, so I get to see that and respect all the people that, do the fancy coding that I still can't really do or wrap my head around, and appreciate all of the different steps and pieces, because a whole lot goes into a video game, and that's when you have a full team. If it's an indie type one, like a real small one where it's 2-3 people, there are so many things that everyone has to do. It is just mind-boggling. So, yeah, absolute love to small team developers.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, no, it's 100%. There's so much stuff, and I wanted to do it so badly, because I think when I was a kid, I was so interested in, like, game devy and, like, coding and stuff like that, because it's very analytical and it's very math-based, and that's how my brain works. And I loved it. Every coding class I ever took, I fucking loved it so much, and I did so well in. But, the whole going to school and getting good grades, that shit fucked me up because ADHD. So I ended up, like, quitting, like, 8 times.
Understandable. And it was weird because I was very good at math, and I'm very good at logic. Like, I love puzzle games. I love just brain teasers and stuff like that. But for some reason, coding, I don't know if maybe it was the syntax that I could just never get my head around. But I was able to pass the classes comfortably enough, but it was like, mid B's and that was after putting in a lot of effort to get there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, coding's like a whole other, it literally is a language, so you have to figure out how to it is like the syntax and everything like that. I don't know. I took like 8 classes, and most of it were shitty middle school classes, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I just go, haha, words go Bert, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm an anime girl, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
You know what you're talking about for a lot of things, for sure. And one thing I know you know a lot about is Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah! Game, good game! Really good game!
Very good game. It's not one that actually comes up a whole bunch on your streams, obviously, because you don't stream Dungeons and Dragons, but you've mentioned various times, oh, I have a game this week.
Yeah.
What is I suppose backing up a bit, how many campaigns are you in actively right now?
Active campaigns, I'm in 2. I technically have one with my family, but that hasn't gone in a while because I think my mom's getting busy, and also my parents suck with coordinating with my schedule because I wake up at 9 p.m. and go to bed at 10 a.m. So it's really hard to coordinate with a 4-year-old sister and shit. But I have 2 campaigns, one Thursday, one Saturday. The Saturday one I just had, we had 2 player deaths yesterday. That was pretty pog.
No.
Yeah, out of 3, and we're level 3 in that campaign. It's a very early campaign, and so many people are dying.
Oh no. So are you playing 5e for all these?
Yeah, 5. I have no idea how to play the other ones. I'm actually pretty new to D&D. I've played it for now a few years, but it's very on and off, and most of the campaigns I've been in are we do 3 or 4 campaigns and then just falls through and we don't do it anymore. So I've been doing the one with my mom and my friends for 30 to 40 sessions now, which is pretty good. That's the furthest I've ever gone. We're level 6 right now, or level 7. So that's the furthest I've ever gotten, and that's pretty good, but I'm not a total expert because still baby, inexperienced.
Don't worry about it. And trust me, that type of start campaign, it collapses after 3 or 4 sessions is something that everyone goes through. I have gone through it many a time. I am in a campaign currently. I've lost track of sessions, but we've been playing every week for, this group actually has been playing every week or just about for probably about 3 years now that we started at a local game store, but they did Adventurers League and we wanted to do homebrew stuff, so we then moved to someone's house, and then COVID came along, and now we play out of Roll20, and we've just been at that ever since. But we've hopped through some different scenarios that DMs have shifted around, but the group's been going, and it took me I don't know how many, 4-5-ish years of playing on and off with different groups to find one that actually was able to stay together. It definitely gets easier if the group that you're playing with is not in school, because that means that people generally have more regular schedules. But do you all use Roll20, or is it in person?
My campaign on Thursdays, that's with my friends all over the world, all over America. So yeah, that's over Roll20, but then my Saturday one is in person because it's a bunch of high school friends that we still talk and shit like that. So they just come over to my house.
That's great.
Because my mom is the same as me. When she finds a hobby she likes, she goes really fucking hard on it and gets everything for it. So she learned she really liked D&D, and so now we have 500 minis, we have terrain, we have a D&D table with an editable mat that you can draw on, and we have
cool.
lighting, and we have a bunch of shit for it. So I'm people, please come over so we can use the stuff we spent so long making. Let me use the D&D table with change like lighting, RGB lighting, and the TV next to it for haha D&D music and atmosphere. Let me use this, please.
You guys are so fancy. That seems so cool. Oh man. So, what are your characters in those campaigns?
Oh, they're both stupid. I love playing stupid characters because it's just an embodiment of me. The first one, Thursdays, is Kanari. She is a Path of the Astral Monk, or Astral Way, whatever monk, whatever. She has a JoJo stand. That's really it. She is a very edgy. She's been through some shit, monk. I originally started for her to be very like distant and angry and shit like that, and then I realized that's not fun to play because no one's gonna ask me about my character backstory because no one cares. So I started opening up and just became the non-trusting, very stupid and impulsive, I will run literally 10 miles to get to a city because they said don't do that, and so to make up for it, you know, I did it in the span of like 20 minutes. That's my character because she can run like 110 feet in 6 seconds.
Oh, wow.
So she fucking zooms. Yeah, she got the fucking mobile feet. She's a monk. She just fucking zooms.
Oh dang! So she's just running up to you, punching really fast, running up to the next person, punching them really fast.
Yeah. Oh, I love her so much. And she's a Kalishtar, so my mom was so cool. I gave her such limited lore. Like, I gave, like, my basis, but whenever I give lore to the DM, I'm like, I think this happened. I'm pretty sure my parents died. I'm pretty sure they were like, market people, and they sold this, and that's all I know. And I'm pretty sure they were bandits who wanted to steal stuff because my parents are rich. Like, that was what my lore was. And then my mom went with that and said, no, actually, this is what you thought, but here's the reality of it. And she gave me all of this fucking lore and, like, a bunch of whole shit because she just kind of went with it. And I love her so much because she's so good at writing and storytelling. So there's this all, like, edgy backstory that works so well with Kanari. Oh my god, I love her so much. She's so stupid.
That's so great.
And then Saturday campaign, that is my war priest cleric, who is so convinced of her morals because she supports her beliefs and like the church and everything like that 100%. So that means that when she sees officials who do illegal things, she sees that as a representation of the church because they're, you know, they're officials, they're representatives of that thing. So she thinks it's okay. So she saw one person said, oh yeah, no, we don't really like the police very much. We don't really like the law. We just don't vibe with some of the things that they do. She went, so you're an asshole and you're a criminal. I'm gonna invade your house and actually steal shit from you because clearly you're up to no good. And she was so convinced of being right because she saw other people that she assumed was correct do also illegal shit. And so she's like lawful evil, stupid.
I feel like that's just purest lawful neutral of
yeah,
I don't care what the law is, but if I see it or you know, am told that this is the law, I will follow it. And since, like you said, these officers are representations of the law, and if I see them, you know, breaking into a criminal's place without a warrant and stealing their stuff, well, that must be legal because, hey, those people would never do anything illegal because they're officers, right?
Yeah, she's like lawful good. She believes personally that she's lawful good. But she's also very gullible and stupid and like a little mind controlled, or not mind, brainwashed. So like from an outside perspective, she's like not lawful neutral, lawful evil because she sticks to her morals and shit like that. But yeah, she thinks she's lawful good. She thinks that she's doing the correct thing. She's gonna have a lot of things to acknowledge pretty soon when everyone calls her on her shit and says, hey, you're being stupid. That's gonna be very fun. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, what is the alignment of the rest of the party that are most of them, you know, neutrals,
we got the typical rogue who's definitely done some illegal shit and is very aware that we will not mesh once I figure that out. The one who is okay with breaking the law as long as it's for the better of the party. The other one who's a massive drunk and doesn't give a shit about anything. We got a small child who's he's 12 and he's a warlock and necromancy is illegal. In the campaign, and so they can't use hexblade and shit like that. They can't use any of their normal warlock spells, and so my character fucking hates him because all of their spells that they try to use are illegal and really bad. And then we got one person that she sort of likes because he's sort of okay. So the whole party dynamic is just me desperately trying to keep an eye on everyone to make sure they're not doing illegal things.
But all of them wanting to potentially do illegal things while you at the same time are
doing illegal
things, but unknowingly? Oh, this is just... what could possibly go wrong?
The party dynamic is great because the only people dying are the people that are smart and responsible. And we got the 12-year-old child, the 17-year-old child who just wants to explore and do dumb shit, and then me who does dumb shit all the time and is very convinced that she's doing the correct thing. We are all always alive, but the parents of the group are just fucking dying constantly.
That sounds honestly like a fantastic campaign.
People stop dying, it would be.
Okay, deaths aside, if the party is, you don't want them to be actively clashing so much that they're actually getting in each other's way, but it's a lot of fun to have the party where not everyone is exactly on the same page, or that the cooperation is understood because you have a mutual goal at this point in time, but we do not necessarily see eye to eye at all times.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's I clash with everyone, but it's very easy to convince me to just not. My favorite part is that her name is Tsunani. Tsunani raided this dude's house in the middle of the night, broke their window by throwing a rock in it, went inside to go look for papers. And the best thing is that they were actually doing something incredibly illegal because they were practicing necromancy. They had zombies and skeletons in their basement that they were doing illegal shit with. And so if she had looted a little bit more, she would have realized that and actually found illegal things. And the other party members learned that, and so they worked so hard to try and get Tsunani not to realize that, because they knew if Tsunani realized that, she would be fucking unbearable and
cover up the evidence.
Yeah, they're if she figures out that she was right, that she had the right suspicions, she's gonna be such a bitch from now on. Yeah, and she's gonna be she's gonna say everyone is doing something bad, and I have to convince she's gonna be so convinced that she's always right, and it's gonna be horrible.
Oh no.
It's great. It's great. My character's so annoying. I love playing her, but she's such she has some of my qualities where she's stupid and dumb and very prideful. But all of her beliefs are completely opposite of mine. And so it's so infuriating to play her sometimes because I'm saying the words that she would say, and then I'm cringing on the inside because I'm who am I?
Oh.
No!
That's the beauty of roleplay, of being able to get into your character enough that you're able to know what they would do just instinctively and get into the character and say it, but at the same time, oh gosh. Yeah. Oh gosh. I think one of my favorite, it's not the same, but the idea of having one party member who is distinctly contrary in one way or another to the rest of the party. My group and I, we did a Star Wars campaign for a couple months, a little while back, and one of the members of our party was a droid, and he was a droid revolutionist, which is to say that he wanted the droids to rise up and kill all the flesh bags. And we worked with him knowing this, but we had to sort of keep him in check and keep him convinced that what we were doing was in the greater interest of him to not kill us and other humans around him because, well, It helps when you have the greater enemy of the Empire looming above with the Death Star and everything and being like, okay, you can't have your droid revolution if this planet is actually just completely destroyed with us on it. So we're not going to do anything to get in your way of sowing the seeds of revolution and corrupting all the other droids on this military base. As long as you don't have them attack us, unprovoked, you all can have your little revolution once we save the galaxy, and we are gonna then just get off this planet and you can do you, okay? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll help you, you help me, you don't kill me, and we'll support your revolution where you kill everyone else. That's fine.
Yeah, we'll be off the planet by then, and this planet will still be saved. I think this is a win-win for everyone.
100%. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I love having just like characters that don't fit the party dynamic, and then by being like that, they fit the party dynamic. It's really weird, but I fucking love that so much.
Yeah, and it also forces everyone in the party to, one, be role-playing a bit more actively, but also having to perpetually think of excuses and reasons to keep everything together. Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you for the host.
Oh, yes, I didn't realize I wasn't hosting. I'm sorry.
All good, all good. Do you have a particular approach to your character building? Do you have particular classes that you like, or do you let other people decide and then build in response to that?
I still consider myself sort of a newbie, so I'm just still going through my, like the list of things that I haven't played yet.
Oh, okay.
And I just do that, so I've never played a monk before, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna play a monk. And, like, I hadn't played a cleric that actually, like, went places, and originally I was gonna be a paladin. Then I realized I fucking hate paladins, so I switched to a cleric almost immediately and just went war cleric, because I still wanted to be the tank. And so I was like, fuck, I need like heavy armor, please give me heavy armor. So I was like, fuck it, war cleric. And then I've played rogue before because of course I have, but I want to like expand. I love barbarians so much. I love like
What is Bri if not a barbarian?
Yeah.
And I mean that in the most complimentary way possible, of course.
I just love being shit up. It's very fun. I was one of my old characters, Thana. She was a Path of the Wild Surge barbarian, which meant that every time you rage, a magical item or like thing happens. So she can go invisible. She can make a fireball explode. It was kind of like the wild source. Yeah, it was like a random thing. Yeah, and it was so much fun to play because like I put it into her backstory that she was like, because she was a Minotaur, so I incorporated like the lore of Minotaur into her backstory and stuff like that. So she was created to be very, very chaotic and like cause destruction. So even though she's a beautiful, like she had flowers in her hair, she would play with kids all the time and just hang out and play hide and seek with them, and she was such a like nice person. She inadvertently caused fucking mayhem everywhere she went because she would rage accidentally and then just blow up an entire city, and like that was what her designated purpose was. And oh my god, I loved her backstory so much. It was like the Little Mermaid incorporated with the allegory of the cave mixed with fucking just complete and utter mayhem, and I loved it so much.
It's almost Jekyll and Hyde, but not quite.
Yeah. Because she was also so stupid because she wasn't that dumb. She just was very inexperienced because she was like literally locked in like a labyrinth for her entire life. And so she hadn't had experience, so she was literally like the Little Mermaid when she was like looking at a fork and she was like, this is what I do to brush my hair. Yeah, what is this? That was exactly it. So people like guards would come up to her and be like, you need to stop doing this, and then use like some phrase that she wasn't used to, and so she would respond in the same way and then like cause fucking chaos and go to jail, or because she just like didn't understand what was going on because she just didn't have experience with it, and she was a little very like stupid.
Just a child throwing slightly supernatural and very powerful tantrums.
Yeah, exactly. That was exactly it. Oh my god, I loved her so much. I really want to like, because the campaigns that she was in, because I used her twice because both campaigns died, and so I might just like reuse her and like start from the beginning because I loved her so much, and every time I use her, the campaign dies after like 3 sessions, and I just want
She needs
to
her day
use
in the
that
sun.
character, please.
I love that. Wild Magic is one of the most. I have a love-hate relationship with it because my dice luck sucks. So, I've seen it go very wrong, but it adds a lot of spice one way or another.
Yeah. Oh god, it's so much fun. I love not having anything be predictable and just causing complete and utter mayhem. Like, I know it's very surprising, judging by my personality, that I like chaos, but it's very, very fucking fun.
And when I design characters, for my first couple of campaigns, I had certain builds that I wanted to do that, as you said, I wanted to do a rogue because everyone likes doing rogues.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a wizard because magic. And after I had done 3-4 campaigns, I started realizing I just like the role-playing part, that I enjoy the combat mechanics, sure, and I feel like I'm able to enjoy most any class, that I don't really prefer one over the other. So the way that I do things now is I say, all right, everyone else in the party, tell me what you want to do, because most people have ideas of like, I want to do this, or I want to try this type of build, and I say, tell me what you all are, and then I will build a character based on what the party lacks.
Yeah, that's really what you want. Like, that's like good guy person in your campaign is the one that just like builds what the party needs and shit like that. That's great. I fucking love, like, fighting's really fun because I love rolling dice. I love sitting there and like my monk, and I just like be like,
oh yeah,
like
multi-hit, just dump out a bunch of D20s.
I would like to hit again. Thank you. Just all in one turn. I fucking love doing that. But like, role playing is great, and I love just being a stupid idiot, especially like one of my characters. She was so incredibly awkward that like she had this giant, like, really, really crucial mission where everyone was coming to attack the world, and she was the only one that knew about it because she was a cleric of a certain god that no one knew about, and she was also, what are they called? The Aasimar. She was that. So she was like the only one that knew they were coming, so she needed to look for evidence and look for help. And she literally, like, she would go to a temple and she would stand there in the corner for 45 minutes straight, just kind of sitting there like dancing back and forth because she was waiting for them to finally notice her. And she was so awkward, she wouldn't like speak up or say anything. She would just sit there and wait. And she was just like, she would bump into everything. She was so clumsy. And so, oh my god. And like her, like, because she was a technically a quote unquote a fallen Aasimar, like for effect, but not like for her lore. Like, because I know lore, like fallen mean that they like don't go, like they broke away from what they believed in and whatever. That wasn't her. She was supporting them. But every time she like rolled out her wings were like this like fog monster where if you looked in, you would see eyes popping out, like glaring at you. And there was a bunch of them. Because her god, you know that angel in the Bible where it was an angel with just surrounded by like 100 eyes? That was basically what her god looked like. So she had like a bunch of eye motifs like around her, and it's fucking terrifying. So you have this incredibly clumsy, socially awkward, horrible like just cannot function in public, and also she's fucking terrifying and scares everyone around her whenever she actually starts doing her shit. And it was such a great like juxtaposition between like her and what she does, and oh my god, I loved it so much.
That, and she's also, bearing news of what sounds like an impending apocalypse.
Impending apocalypse,
Pay attention, like, I'm too shy to speak up, but please pay attention to me. I need to talk to you. It's really important because the world's gonna end in about 3 days.
Yeah. God, I loved her so much. She was such a great. That was what Tsunade was supposed to be like. Was she was supposed to be really, really socially awkward, but have like news is supposed to speak up and stuff like that. She was supposed to be like a 7'4" half-orc war cleric, everything, and be super buff and strong, but also be like, okay, yeah, I guess we can do that instead. Okay, it's whatever you want. No, don't worry about me. But then I got like, and then somehow in like the first 5 minutes, I just got like this urge to do something else. And now she's just this like stuck up, incredibly confident fucking dumbass. And I'm so glad I did because it works so well with the party dynamic. Oh, I love her so much.
Oh, that's good. That's real good. Now, one of the things that you told me when we spoke earlier this week, which I didn't know, and you mentioned it a bit earlier, that you have all these different things that you have, like the custom terrain and accessories and all this, and you said something that was different that I don't know if people necessarily caught, and it said you wanted people to come over so you can use not all this stuff that you bought, but all this stuff you made.
Yeah! I make things! I'm a crafty individual! I have talents! Not really. But yeah, I make, way back when I had time, when I didn't stream, especially during COVID, I picked up, like, crafting terrain and painting minis, and I would make a bunch of shit, for D&D specifically. So I have walls, and I have bookcases, and I have, like, statues, and I have
You actually sent me a picture of it.
Yeah.
So give me just a sec. We're gonna hop over to a different screen. Here we go. So, I don't know if the image and everything is going to be big enough for people to clearly see, but we have here a bunch of walls. There's the bookcases you mentioned. There's these floor pieces, which I noticed the lines in them. I assume those are, you know, grid spaces. That way you actually have the distance and everything. So each brick there is a 5x5 square. What interests me, in the corner there are two bottles, and one said, I think it was like potion of healing, potion of fire breathing or something. Are those functional items that you then place on the map to show something is there, or are those just extra things you made along the way?
So when I first got into this, I did it because the first thing I ever created were these like paper craft like shitty chests and stuff like that, because I really wanted to do D&D with my sisters, and my sisters are very, very young, and so I thought the best thing that I can do to engage them and keep them engaged is to give them items. So if I give them a potion bottle, I want them to actually have it, so it feels a lot more like full of value and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's tangible.
And so yeah, and I mean, when you're that young, and also I'm pretty sure one of them's got fucking ADHD, because there's no way she can concentrate otherwise. Like, you need something tangible just to like realize shit, especially when you're that young. So I started making them. I got them at like some dollar store for like, I got like 9 of them for like $10, or not $10, like $5. And I put like paint in them, and I colored them, and I put little things next to them. So I had like a potion of fire breathing, I had a bunch of health potions, I had a bunch of everything. I wanted to get more and then put them like Kool-Aid in them so you could actually drink them. And but then I got really lazy, so I just put them with paint, and I glued them shut so no child
so you can't
would
drink them.
Yeah,
very smart.
And,
good move.
Yeah, but yeah, I made a bunch of shit. That's also how I got into terrain building, is I started with paper because I wanted something like tangible so they could use it. And then I started Googling shit, and I saw these instructional videos, and it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I got out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning after having not slept at all, drove to the dollar store, and spent like $30 on paint, a fucking X-Acto like knife, one of those really sharp knives, styrofoam, and like a bunch of like random like brushes and shit like that.
So is this a 24-hour dollar store that you were able to waltz into at 5 a.m.?
Yeah, it was. Yes,
okay.
It was.
Okay.
I was so lucky. And so I walked in there, I bought a bunch of shit, and then I went home and I made this very shitty fountain. And I didn't take a picture of it because it's very bad. But it was a very shitty fountain, and then I realized, holy fuck, this is so much fun, because it's so much fun to make something that, even though you have no experience with it, it can still come out pretty okay, and you can still, like, as long as you follow instructions, it can look pretty good. even though you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And so I started that. I made those terrain blocks, the squares. I made those, and then I made the walls, which took me an ungodly amount of time, but they were so much fun. I made this little guy who was like the size of my fist. He was supposed to be a rock golem, and blood, sweat, and tears, all three went into that man because I kept accidentally hitting my fingers with the X-Acto knife.
Yourself, yep.
Yeah,
Blood, sweat,
oh
and
my
tears. There you
god.
go.
I was making him and I was chipping off like squares so it would look like a boulder. And I went downstairs. I was like, Mom, I hit my finger with the knife. And she's like, okay, so you should probably like take a break. Because, you know, you're clearly getting more careless because you've been doing this for a few hours. So like take a break and come back to it later. And I went, uh-huh. And then I went back upstairs and kept working on it.
Yep, of course.
And then 5 minutes later, I went back downstairs. I was like, Mom, I hit another one of my fingers. And she's like, why didn't you take a break? I was like, oh, because I'm hyper-focusing and I want to finish him. And she's like, oh, okay, but this is like the second time. You need to like take a break now. Like even if it's 10 minutes, just take a break.
Crafter's gloves or, you know, something that lets you keep your finger dexterity while protecting your fingers. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, after that, I went upstairs and I kept doing it. And then literally 30 seconds later, I walked back downstairs and said, Mom, I did it again. She's like, Jesus Christ.
This feels like a sitcom. This sounds like something out of a 90s sitcom. Really predictable that you know this character, you know their style, and you know every time that they go upstairs and they're told to take a break, they're not, and that they just, you know, come right back down.
Yeah, laugh tracks playing in the background, and I'm like, Mom, I did it again. Yeah, it was 100%. It was so bad. I haven't even finished him. His name is Gilbert. He is like very large and not well done, so that's why I haven't finished him because it won't look good. But I'm very proud of him, and he looks over everything that I do. And but yeah, I'm so sad because I need to go back to like terrain building because I really, really loved it. I just don't have the time anymore to do anything. I wonder
why.
Yeah, I wonder why.
And for those who can't see, those walls, so were those pieces of styrofoam that you cut part of and then, you know, chipped a couple blocks off because they aren't symmetrical at certain points? Or did you actually build them brick by brick by brick?
What I did was I got strips of foam, I cut them into brick sizes, I very carefully, because there's a trick that you can do with a aluminum ball, like aluminum foil crushed up, where if you rub it against the side, it looks textured, so it looks like a wall. It looks like stone. So I very carefully had probably about 500 bricks. I went through every single side of each brick with the aluminum ball, then I rounded out the edges of every single square, all 500 times, and I very slowly glued them up and built them from like the base up like actual bricks, glued them all together, painted the entire thing, which is somehow worse because there's a lot of fucking nooks and crannies there, and then made little squares and stuff like that, and they all match up, so if you have like a square of terrain, you can build the rocks around it, or you can put the walls on top of it, everything like that. Oh my god, it
that's so cool.
So long. It was so great, and I'm really, really happy with them because they look really, really good. But that was not well optimized how I did it. I could have done one wall, like I could have kept them in really long rectangle strips, did the entire like wall textured, and then cut them off after that.
And then cut them? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do that because I'm stupid. So yeah, so I had to do every single little one. I rounded it because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 12 like edges that I had to round down with like a ballpoint pen as well. Oh my god, it took so long.
Well, hey, at least you were able to hyperfixate on it for plenty of time.
I did it in the span of like one day. I spent like 18 hours on them and like cutting and everything, and it took so long, but they're very good. And I still have to like make more of them because I don't have enough of them. But, oh well. Oh well.
Nah. Have you ever actually DM'd yourself?
I did once, and then I realized that it wasn't for me. I love the idea of storytelling, I love the idea of the world building, and I especially love the idea of keeping track of everything, and having your world, and having everyone live inside your world, and keeping track of the stats and the figures and the characters and note-taking and everything. Love that part. I don't like writing, and I especially hate continuously writing where I have to keep building stuff and I have to keep like doing everything every single week. I can't do that. I would love to do like in the moment. I can improvise, I can roleplay, I can do that. I can't do like the prep work. That
Would you
sucks.
want to run something out of a pre-made module, or do you really prefer homebrew?
I thought about that. I like homebrew more. I also have a really hard time, like, reading and shit. So that was also a problem. Was if I didn't do homebrew, I would have to read in advance and see everything, and I would feel really unprepared. And I don't know. It was iffy with it. But then my mom like offered to DM, and she's like an author and stuff like that. She has like published books, so she's really good at storytelling, and she has my exact humor. So she's funny. And wait, that sounded really like full. She has my humor, so she's funny. But no, she's like really good at storytelling, so it worked out well.
That's good. I also tried DMing once and realized, like you said, there's so much prep work that goes into really anything that isn't homebrew, and even if it isn't, to anything that isn't out of a book, and even if it is out of a book, there's still work that has to be done of just maintaining and making sure you have the right place and that you're getting the right stats for the enemies and everything and referring to the right pages and the right books. DMs put in a lot of work.
Oh,
Be sure
God,
to appreciate your DMs.
They put in so much, and I don't have the time or commitment to do that. I have friends that have D&D 6 out of 7 days of the week. And like, I have a friend who does that, and he DMs 3 of the 6 days. And I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? How do you have the time to do all of that and DM it? Oh my God.
Are they using the same world or plot?
Nope, they're all different.
A new for each.
It's all different, and it's all homebrew as well, and it's a bunch of like, one of them he's okay with because it's all written out because they've been doing this for so long, and it's a lot of it's just written out. It's just like they just do it as an excuse to get together and play and stuff like that. But like, still, he spent so much time playing D&D. I don't know how the fuck he does it. I really don't. He's really cool though. He's good at it.
Wow. Hey, some people just have that talent. Good for them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move us back to the main area now. Yeah, there we go. Do you have any ideas, I suppose, of what you want your next character to be, or is that something that you usually think of in the moment when a new campaign presents itself?
I need to think of a new character because knowing Tsunami or Kanari, they're both gonna fucking die one of these days because they're both stupid and run in, and like Tsunami, 3 of her friends have already died, and we've had like 8 sessions. So like, she's gonna die one of these days, and she's one of the only healers, so they're gonna get fucked. So I don't know, but I'm very bad at thinking of character ideas until like I'm literally required to do it, and so I have no idea. Yeah, I might do a barbarian because I love barbarians, but also I have a habit of only playing stupid characters. So I might try and go on from that and actually play a smart character for once, an educated character. But that means that I have to be educated myself. And I don't know how well that's gonna work.
Nah, you just need to sound like you're educated if you're playing an educated character.
I just need to mansplain everything.
Mansplain, use really large fancy words, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll just roll a bunch of history checks and then have the DM explain everything and go, I said that.
Gosh, you're bigger brain than me. Just don't even bother thinking of the things. Have the DM think of them for you. That's good.
Yeah,
that's real good.
I just roll history checks. That's it. I did have a very old character that I would maybe play for like a one-shot. He was a half-orc barbarian, and the reason that he would rage all the time is because he was really smart and really intelligent. And everyone around him was really stupid and like would always misunderstand what he was trying to say, and then try to try to interrupt and be like, oh, so you actually mean this, when like he was much smarter than them. And so he would rage all the time because everyone was so much stupider than him. And he would also give a lot of lectures. And he would call them his TED Talks, where he would just go on and give lectures.
God.
Yeah,
Now,
I was so proud of him, but also that would be horrible.
Does he have an in-universe variant on what TED is, or like does it stand for something? Oh, he's Ted. He's Ted.
He's Ted. Because he talks.
Oh, yep. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm not good at thinking of characters in advance either. That's the benefit to being a reactionary builder, because, well, I can't think of anything for my next character because I don't know what it needs to be at. I'll think of something later on when you all tell me what you need.
Yeah, I'll just depend on everyone else to have their creative ideas, and then I'll leak content off of them and think of my shit because of them. Aha. Yeah.
And I'm pretty proud. I'm usually able to think of fun, creative things that work in the dynamic of the world and the party around it. That the current campaign I'm doing is in 5e, but it's a Weird West homebrew, so it takes place in what is the landmass of the United States, but you have all the fantasy races. So you have, there's like these giants that are from Norway, and you have things that are sort of representative of their regional culture, and that's where the DM wrote the different races to be globally. And I forget if it's a bit before or after the American Civil War, but it's, big melting pot in that way. You have the justification for all these different races that have their different points of origin coming together. And mine is a cleric, and when I had to think of a god, I realized, all right, I'm going to be using a battle hammer. So what I decided to do is I wrote in, okay, my character worships Thor because he is a retired, not a sheriff, he's a retired marshal. So, law, justice, strength, and all that. And then the proud little spin I put on that for this campaign was, I said, while the Church of Thor is the proper name and what it's known back in his homeland, in the United States, a more colloquial term was used because, people here hadn't heard of Thor, but they saw, all right, there's this religious order that has a lot of hammer imagery, so people around here call them the Masons.
Ooh, creative. I thought you were gonna go like, the Church of Thor, the Thorch, and just go with that, but the Masons actually really creative. That's really smart. I like that.
For people who, might not be from the US or might not know this type of thing, the Stonemasons is a fraternal order that is based in the US, that it's basically super fancy guys, country club things, old hoity-toity folks, very outdated practices and things, not actually religious, but I was proud that I was able to sort of tie that into sort of a real world thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's really creative. I like that. Yeah. Hell yeah. But yeah, I need to think of a new character, but whenever I die, I'll think of something.
Yep. Hey, for now, they're still alive, and that's what matters.
That's a good start. Not for long, though.
To be fair, from what you have told me of these characters, I can understand the hesitancy to, put faith in their longevity.
Yeah, they're just stupid.
And yet they've somehow out-survived, like you said, 3 party members, so...
But that was purely, so in the reason because of that one is whenever we roll a crit, we do the rule where if you say you roll a d6 to do damage, if you roll a crit, you roll your d6, and then you also do a full 6 damage as on top of that. Because that means that your crits are way more satisfying, so you don't accidentally roll like a 2 and then you add 1 damage to it as a crit. That's boring. You add a full 6 damage, you add max damage to it. It's great. So they got blasted by a pretty strong move, and then both of them rolled a nat 1. So that means that they got the full max damage plus whatever the creature rolled. And the rogue had 18 max health, and max damage was 36. So they literally instantly died.
No.
And then the other one, I think their max HP was like 26. And so like they instantly died because it's literally impossible for them to get like under their max HP like dead. And so we got a little unlucky there. And then the other time one of us died was because we also have the rule that when you roll a nat 1, if there's like someone in the area, you have a very small chance of hitting that person, even if it's your ally, because if you're throwing something and you miss, well, fuck.
He could hit something else.
Yeah, so I was there alive at 1 HP, and I was fighting the enemy, and I was the only healer at the time, and I was about to like pull out, but I thought, I think they're almost dead, so I'm gonna use all of my attacks to kill them. The person behind me rolled a nat 1, hit me, instantly killed me, and then the enemy went, instantly downed the person next to me because he was pretty low, walked over, used his extra attack to kill the wizard too, instantly, even though he was on max health. So we had, of the 6 party members, 3 of them were down in the span of 1 session, and like the only healer was dead or downed, and we were just fucked because apparently the person that we were fighting wasn't dead or almost dead. They had still a shit ton of health left, so we were just like struggling to survive. It was so hard.
Oh geez, so did you end up defeating the enemy and getting away, or did you retreat? How did that end?
We ended up killing the enemy. Sorry, they ended up killing the enemy. I was alive, thankfully, and the other person was, but then the last one died. And coincidentally, the person that died that time also died later on with the nat 1. So they had 2 characters that they had to
What a
that
day.
got killed in the span of like 3 sessions too. Our poor like characters went through so much trauma with the first death, and then we finally started to cope and get back together and like form a group dynamic again, and then everyone died and got even more trauma. It was so bad.
Oh no. Ugh. Jeez,
Oh well.
It's the best and worst part of D&D that things like that happen. Sometimes things do be that way.
Yeah,
But
it do be like
it
that.
sounds like you have some awesome groups, some awesome DMs to work with, so that's super cool. And like, I've seen others do D&D streams. I'm guessing that's not viable for you because, you know, most of the other people are not streamers, not VTubers, so you can't do that. But like, I don't know, maybe it'd be cool to like, if your other character dies and you need to think of something, maybe have a just chatting stream where you can brainstorm with chat on what your new character is, and that way, if you don't have an idea, maybe somebody in chat might.
Yeah, I could do that. I know my DM, because my DM's a VTuber as well, and she's been talking about what the campaign is going towards, and everyone in her chat went, oh, that sounds amazing. So I'm gonna, and they have like very similar viewers to mine, so I'll just do that. I'll just have chat help me create a D&D character and help me create the lore for it. It's gonna be great. Because then she can come in and go and be like, no, this doesn't make sense for my lore. This doesn't make sense for the campaign. Bri, fix it. And then I can. In live on stream, I can fix all my issues with my lore. It'd be great. That's a good idea.
There you go. 2 birds, 1 stone right there.
But yeah, I'll probably have to gonna do that soon because yikes, everyone's gonna die.
Well, hopefully not everyone, but given it certainly sounds like, as HMS Boat 69 has said, you have a really fucking murderous DM.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, it was not even on purpose. It was because we had a lot of easy encounters, so she was like, I'm gonna make it a little harder because we had a few easy ones. That's not good. Yeah, and then went bad. Whoopsies. But yeah.
It's been a long time since I've gotten to actually just talk D&D with a guest. That there were a couple guests I had back to back, maybe 4 months ago, that were into D&D, and we talked it for a while, but it's been a long time. So it was really fun being able to just, chat about different campaigns, because even the campaigns that I'm in are different from what they were a couple months ago. But do have a lot of other interests to cover. But obviously, D&D, big thing for you, and I think it's just super cool. And hopefully there might be ways to incorporate it into a stream, maybe not. But yeah. D&D is great. I had asked you what other, fandoms or different series you might be interested in, and one that you pointed to, which I was so delighted to hear, was Rooster Teeth, particularly Red versus Blue and Ruby. And one thing I sort of realized is Machinima and RVB the predecessor to VTubing?
Oh my god, you're so right! It was like VTubing that isn't live. You're so fucking right! VTubing. Pre-recorded VTubing,
Now, I myself, I've seen the first couple of seasons of RVB. I know they go from being effectively a sketch comedy series into a full-on action series, that it's still going, that it has deep lore, a lot of characters, has had some super good voice talent. Are you current, or did you end up sort of dropping off at a point?
I'm not, because I go in phases, so I usually go a few seasons without watching it, and then I binge watch it like every single day in 2 months over and over again, and then I go a few seasons and then I do it again. So I'm not 100% current. I do feel the need coming pretty soon where I'll be binge watching that and Ruby pretty soon. But no, I'm not 100% current, but I at least I know a lot about it. I know a shit ton about it. I know too much about Red versus Blue, just too much.
Do you have a favorite arc or a favorite character?
Yeah, okay, so if you want strict character development, because you're getting me on this. So if you want strict character development, Tucker is the best character, because his development over the next few seasons, or especially like 1 through 8, it's fucking phenomenal, very well written, and very, very like touching. If you want characters like, not to be a basic bitch, but Church is a very good character and one of my favorites, because also his character development and also how sentimental I feel over Church, especially Church and Tex together. Fucking 10 out of 10, because I always cry whenever I think about their relationship. And also Carolina is pretty good. Tex is badass, and I'm strangely attracted to her, even though she's a Halo character. And also fucking Caboose, because I relate to Caboose a lot and I like a lot of his humor, and he's very touching in the best ways. Yeah.
Classic. It's weird to think how far Rooster Teeth has come from being this little fan group doing some silly animations on YouTube because they felt like it, into a full-on media house with well, their game division unfortunately shut down, but they're a full proper animation house. They've just moved very well into live streaming, and they were really at the forefront of Let's Plays. Obviously, they have a flippin' series called Let's Play that they helped popularize that term, and just they're now owned by Warner Media, several hundred employees, this massive company that's, I think, turning 14 or 15 this year. I forget. Somewhere around there. Might be 16.
Very old.
They've been around a while, but it's weird to think of just how far they've come, how far internet culture has come from just bow chicka bow wow, because that was RVB, right?
Yeah,
Unless memory is serving me wrong, but just that alone transcended RVB and became...
Watching it back, a lot of the humor in it is very dated, because it literally came out in 2003 or something like that. It's a super fucking old. Think about it, they started that as a joke. Rooster Teeth literally means cockbite. Because they thought it was funny, and now they fucking regret that shit, because they're a giant company and they just called it cockbite. But it's I mean, my stepdad and my mom met on Red versus Blue forums. I grew up with Red versus Blue from 4 years old. I watched it every time a season came out. Don't show a 4-year-old's Red versus Blue, by the way. Very inappropriate.
I was going to say, the fact that they got together from Red versus Blue is super cool. It's always neat to hear relationships coming together through fandoms and whatnot. And it's totally understandable, all right, that you are going to raise your kids on whatever content that brought you together because it has that sentimental attachment. But 4 for RVB is a bit much. I would say wait till 7. Like at 7,
it wasn't even like
but...
they did that because that was my stepdad. So that was when I was like 7 or 8 when they got together. So even before that, they just really liked Red versus Blue. But also, this was like back in the day when like they didn't really vet a lot of stuff. So like I would sit down and I would watch Happy Tree Friends with my dad all the time. My very first game I ever played was Fable, which is an incredibly inappropriate game to play when you're literally 4 years old. The quests that you do in that video game, not suitable for that age.
I'll admit, I haven't played Fable. I know of the game. I remember the box art vividly. What are these quests that are not suitable for 4-year-olds?
There are some quests later on where you have to hire a select individual, or you have to hire 3 of a select individual, and you have to perform certain actions with them. Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Dear.
And I have stories of where I learned what certain words were. Like I learned what like a prostitute was when I was like 5. Because I had to use a quest, and I called to my mom, and I was like, Mom, what the fuck does this mean? And she's like, oh, well, it's this then. I'm like, oh, okay, understandable. I'm gonna go buy this. God, I went to a Catholic school when I was a little kid, and I remember, because I really liked attention, believe it or not. I know it's very surprising, but I really liked attention when I was a kid, and I yelled at the top of my lungs all the time, I can't wait to go home. I can't wait to go home and see my several wives in Fable. They all love me, and I can't wait to have blank with them. I got into a lot of trouble because I was like 6 or 7 at the time at a very strict Catholic school. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Hey, if nothing else, it sounds like you have known yourself from a very young age and that you have always been you.
Yeah, I have not changed whatsoever. I liked attention, I was very loud, and I had the exact same humor when I was 5 as I did now, which is, hee I fucked your mom, hee.
To be fair, a lot of chat still appreciates that type of humor. Lowbrow is lowbrow because it appeals to the largest common denominator.
Yeah, just when I was 5-year-old, I was way too young for those jokes, and now when I'm 22 years old, I'm way too old for those jokes. Yeah. But it's fine. They're funny.
Yes. And on the other side of Rooster Teeth, we have Ruby, and that is a series I am much more familiar with. I'm up to date on Ruby. You said that you are in early season 6, so I will not discuss anything past that, and in chat behave or I will bonk you. For Ruby, for what you have seen, do you have any favorite characters or arcs or weapons?
Oh gosh, I have so much because I followed Ruby from the very start. Like I was at the basic premiere of the Red trailer, and every other trailer and every other episode from then on. I followed that shit so much. I have a Ruby cover that I sang on my YouTube. Don't listen to it because it's not good, but I have one. Yeah, I adore Ruby's, like, Ruby Rose, like, her weapons so much. And I also love her personality because I relate to her so much. And she's so cool and badass. And I hate being the basic bitch that goes, my favorite character is the main character. But she's just really cool and badass. And, like, she's, like, young and very, very, like energetic and like a small puppy, but then when it comes down to it, she's super badass and can kill the shit out of like anything in front of her, and I just love her so much. Yeah, my god.
I feel like it's a lot more forgivable to say Ruby than, you know, your average generic protagonist, because sometimes protagonists are very blank because they're supposed to be something that you can project yourself on and that all the other characters have the personality, but in Ruby absolutely has a personality and identity, and she is childlike innocence that is forced to see reality, but still has the drive that she had when she had her innocence, and that's what makes her such a cool character. That just, despite the fact that she goes through the ringer, she and her friends, oh my gosh, I won't spoil anything out of late seasons 6, 7, and 8, but well, she's gonna keep going through the ringer. You have more to look forward to there.
Oh no, she's been through so much. Oh, she just needs a hug.
You know, I remember seeing the Red trailer probably within a week when it dropped, that it was shown to me by a friend. Then I didn't keep up with the other trailers or season 1. I discovered it on the hiatus between seasons 1 and 2, watched season 1 over the course of a day or two, and then was in that rabbit hole, you know, nice and comfortably from there, and have kept up with it actively since. I don't even know who my favorite characters are anymore, because there's so many just different ones that the characters are all good. There's a lot of very diverse writing in it. For a while I said Ozpin, and I think I do still say Ozpin, and I can't fully explain my answer, but I think Ozpin is the one I like most, but there are very few characters that I dislike. And
for sure.
just all of Team RWBY is super awesome. The weapon design is incredible, and I look forward to seeing where the story goes. And I think that Volume 8 is my favorite volume now. But it is always inherently difficult to compare any volume to Volume 3 because of what Volume 3 did for the series and what it meant for the series. That I remember Rooster Teeth put out a post before episode 9, which is the episode with Pyrrha and Penny, and that's all I'll say about that.
That episode,
they put
we
it
all
before
know.
That episode, and they said, just like with a lot of young adult media, the media is written to grow up with the viewer. And starting this week, RWBY is going to have content warning that this big blog post that is going on the main page of our website is your official content warning for RWBY going forward. We know that a lot of people are showing this show to their kids, that they are showing it to their little cousins, and we love that. But we're not going to keep this series limited to that anymore. That was where it was supposed to be, and now it is growing up. So be warned. And by God, did they make good on that threat?
That was, oh my God. I remember I went to RTX in 2016, and I stood in line for like 6 hours for the RWBY panel, and I got to watch the trailer to RWBY Volume 4 with like the fighting and the different animation, but the more upgraded new engine, and like, oh my God. And I remember watching it, and Carrie was there and just started like sobbing because of the support that he got, because everyone was like so hyped because it was so good, and all of the updates were so good. And they showed like an episode of RWBY Chibi, and like I laughed my ass off of that. Even though I never really followed RWBY Chibi, I still laughed my ass off because it was so good, because like there were so many people there and it was so much fun. And oh my God,
comedy is best enjoyed in a large audience.
Yeah, and there's like thousands of people there, so like everyone laughing, I will laugh with it. Oh my God. God, that was RTX was so amazing. That was one of the best days of our best 3 days. I don't know. I didn't sleep, so best days of my life.
I think I went to 17, 18. I don't remember if I went to 16. I don't think I did, but not sure. Anyway, yeah, RTX has been real cool. Looking forward to when we can do that in person again.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go to any more RTXs, because I loved 2016 because I was so heavily I watched every Let's Play. I was binge watching the Minecraft Let's Plays on the daily from episode 1. I was watching Camp, and I was watching RWBY and Red vs. Blue. I was watching everything. I was binging everything. I was so heavily in like the Rooster Teeth like family, for lack of a better word. And so now I barely watch any of their stuff. It's mainly nostalgic for me, and so I don't even know.
That's totally fair.
I don't know any of the stuff that they're producing now, and I know a lot of the people that I watched are now gone from it. So it's like a bittersweet thing if I ever went. And
that's
so,
understandable. That for me, Ruby was my entry point, and that's basically where I stayed. I watched a bit of Camp. I watched Nomad of Nowhere, which is a one-season animated thing they did, but I never really got into their Let's Plays or all their other content. But I have a couple friends who are really into it, and also I live in Texas, so it's easy for me to get to. So yeah, but I can totally understand that. Just if it's something that you aren't as actively into anymore, then But it's good that you have those memories and just all that stuff. And like I said, you definitely have plenty to look forward to whenever you get around to binging those. Do let me know, because you're going to have to scream to someone. So scream to me, or just find another friend who's up to date on Ruby and scream to them, because trust me, you're going to need to scream.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely find some time to rewatch it, because those shows will always be good, and I need to binge watch Camp again. I was considering watching, because I know that they had Nomad of Nowhere, and they also had the other anime. They started another one. It was like
Genlock?
Yeah, I remember Genlock, because I remember they had some really big names.
They had Michael B. Jordan. Season 2's been in production hell for a while. Apparently, it's going to premiere on HBO Max sometime.
On HBO?
Well, yeah.
Holy shit! What a
keep
fucking...
in mind, because they're owned by Warner Media, which owns HBO. So it's same corporate umbrella. Yeah, so it's going to be on HBO Max, and yeah, they still apparently have it in production. It's just been very slow and understandably delayed over the past year.
Yeah, I mean, that's everything's been delayed. That makes sense. Honestly, good for them for delaying it, because God knows, I know any animation company has really bad crunch time issues. So yeah, but yeah. Good for them, though, getting to HBO. Shit, bro. That's
yeah, like I said,
I remember when they were a baby company,
sort of shitposting YouTubers making the funny videos with Halo characters to HBO.
Yeah, Jesus. I remember watching I think it was season 5 or 6 of Red vs. Blue, when they made one scene where I think it was Donut stuck in a wall, and it was animated and stuff, and it was really, really brief. And holy shit, I was mind was fucking blown, because that was the first time they ever did genuine animation and not just head bobbing. And I was this means so much right now. And then season 8 with text fighting and stuff like that, oh my god, it was so good.
Yeah. And now I'm just thinking, all right, it feels like there's opportunity. I don't know if there would be a Rooster Teeth VTuber, or if there would be just VTubing is a space that feels like it is going to have significant overlap with their fan base.
Oh god,
that whether it is a Rooster Teeth VTuber, or that, some animated VTuber show or series, I'm kind of waiting for them to incorporate VTubing into a topic for one of their projects somehow. I don't know if it'll happen, but I feel like it's a pretty natural pairing.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, if you look at their fan base of a bunch of weebs who Let's Plays, that's literally Red versus, or not Red, that's literally their fan base. You gotta.
Yeah. Someday we will have RT-chan.
I'm gonna go DM them hey, you want a VTuber? I got you. Let that be me.
There you go. Yep. Now it'll be BriAtRT.
BriAtRT, yeah. Oh my god, it's perfect. That could be me.
Someday. Now, outside of Rooster Teeth, you mentioned the appreciation for animators and having the enjoyment of coding and things like that. And while you haven't done either of those, one thing you are really into is modeling and rigging. And I feel like that's a very logical offshoot, that it's not quite proper coding, it's not traditional animation, but rigging in particular is it's sort of it's contained planned animation and, you know, enabling animation. I'm describing this poorly, but
No, I get what you mean. It
it's
makes
still
sense.
that sort of brain space, and that's something you've all said a couple times tonight. You know, I don't have time, and it's not just because, you know, you're streaming a lot, which you are obviously, but when you're not streaming, you're doing a lot of rigging and other commissions and projects.
Oh god, yeah. It's literally my day-to-day is I wake up, I do rigging, I stream, I get off stream, I do rigging, and then I go to bed. And that's all my day is. And I'm not complaining because even though I'm stressed, it's a very good stress because I really like rigging. It is so much fun, and it's really great that I can actually like make a living off of just like making fucking VTubers and shit. Like that's great. I love it so much.
You have a lot of different models yourself. Did you rig any of those, or were those rigged by others and you learned after receiving them?
I rigged all of them except for the one that I'm using right now, because this one I knew if I rigged my official model, I would be so unhappy with it because I'm such a perfectionist, and I would also never get it done because I would always prioritize my other work over my own personal stuff.
Honestly,
so yeah.
Good on you for knowing that about yourself and you know, making that call. That's really smart, and it makes perfect sense because it's not just you, that just artists in general are never satisfied with their own work, or very seldom satisfied at most.
Yeah, I have so many artist friends who like, I'm gonna like rig my own model, I'm gonna draw my own model, and I see them re-debuting every 3 weeks because they keep updating it, because they keep getting like not satisfied with something. And meanwhile, I'm like, I'm happy, I'm good, I can keep this forever. I love my model. It is so well done, it is so well drawn, everything about it fits me. I'm happy.
Yeah. And actually, could you show off? Choose any of your other models for the good people, the ones that you have rigged yourself, because I know you don't have any of the other ones you've worked on that you can use, but show off a bit of your work, why don't you?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I have my guess of where you're gonna go.
Actually, I can show off a new model that I have.
Okay.
It is. I have yet to reveal it, but
oh man, breaking news! Exclusive here on Vtuber Talk.
Exclusive. Hello. How's it
going? Now, it's difficult to see against the background I have, but there are arms there. There are little stick figure arms there.
Yeah, they're wiggling back and forth. Look at them. Oh my god, you're right. It's Mousepad Bree. You're right.
Oh god.
Oh
wait, there are feet too. I couldn't see them because it was black against the background. But yes, you have all 4 limbs there, and everything else. That's incredible.
And there's a body back there.
There is.
See it? Yeah.
It's just behind the front layer.
Yeah.
So is this a style that you are going to offer as part of your commissions? Because I know for a while you did ragdolls, but you don't do those anymore. But is this one that you would potentially adapt, or are you still just on 100% rigging?
I already do pretty much any chibi if someone needs it. Like, I've done so many different chibis. But yeah, I'm working with my friend Iggy, Princess Iggy, because she's the one that drew this, and we're gonna hopefully open commissions. I have no certain, I don't know prices, I don't know when, I don't know anything. This was literally just a trial that she made me as like a base so I could try rigging it. And god, rigging the top layer was very difficult because it's very weird. So yeah, but yeah, no, for sure we're gonna do these later.
So you too can have this wonderful design done by BriAtCookiebox.
Yeah. Okay, I can't. I'm gonna get rid of them now. I can't stop staring.
Oh boy, well, thank you for sharing that with us. It's not often that I get a new exclusive thing. That's super cool, super exciting, and it's been a while since a guest has properly broken me on stream like that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So apart from that particular design, do you have either a favorite type of model to rig or a favorite part of the model to rig?
I other than chibis, I fucking love chibis because they're so cute, so I can exaggerate all of their features a lot because they're already really exaggerated. So instead of like slight hand movements that are very like you know, slight and subtle and stuff like that, I can just have their fucking arms whip around and flailing, and it works with it because they're very exaggerated and very cute and animated, and it's great. I also love rigging eyes and like hair. Like because they're so fluid and so dynamic, and I add so many different features to them and stuff like that. It's so satisfying to do because you can add, like, VTube Studio alone has so many features that you can include that like you can like open your eyes up really wide, and you can like change your eyes based on if you're smiling or not, and you can make the eyelids jiggle and the eyelashes and everything. You can add so much shit that like is not base, and I fucking love that. I spend so long on eyes.
Do you have any favorite expressions? And that could be either expressions to make or expressions that you yourself have.
I have this one, and I have two little animations that I have. Oh my god, hi Socks.
Hi Socks. Don't worry, Socks is not the first cat to make a guest appearance on Vtuber Talk.
Good. I don't know why he's so angry at me right now. I don't know what is... He's very sad. Okay, anyway, but I do have this one. It is my favorite animation ever. I don't pull it out very often because there isn't often a time that I could, but yeah.
Just flailing wiggly Brie.
Just flailing, just Angie Brie.
I've never actually seen an animation like that. That's super cool.
Yeah. I have two. I have one really cute one, which is this one, where I'm very adorable.
The hind arms, very innocent.
I love this one. But yeah, the Angie one, I found it, like another VTuber did it. I'm like, gimme, I want that one. That's the one for me.
That's fantastic. How many, I guess, between the modeling and rigging projects, how many do you actively have on your plate right now? Maybe I asked a bad question.
Okay, hold on. Let's get this up. Okay, if we count everything, including ones that I told the commissioner, like, I'm gonna put you on the back burner because of, like, our relationship and stuff like that I have with them. Let's go to my commissions list. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 right now. I have another one coming pretty soon that I have to do, and it's a rush order. And then I'm pretty sure I have another one that I agreed with someone forever ago that I have to do. So like 8 to 10.
Oh my. Well, at least business is booming.
Whoa!
And Wendy W, yes, I know how cursed Brie is. I am a frequent in her chat. I know about Burger Brie. I know about Buff Brie. I know about Cookie Brie. I know about all the Bries. Do not worry.
Yeah. I'm very glad because it's I'm glad people are learning how cursed I am, because that's what I thrive for. This is why I'm a streamer. So people know like what the fuck is going on in my brain. It's great.
Yeah. You just always seem to have a great time. That, you know, sometimes you do drinking streams, usually with Cuphead, and those are always a blast. Honestly, I just enjoy watching almost anyone play Cuphead.
Yeah,
it's a very
good
good streaming game. Very good streaming game.
Oh god, yeah.
There's Getting Over It, one that you are actually really good at.
I'm so good at that game!
Now, you had a run a couple weeks ago that I saw that was 12 minutes. You've said that your personal best is 7, though, which is just mind-boggling, because you see a lot of people in the community playing this game, and some people, they will not complete it in 2 streams.
No, yeah. To be fair, so you have achievements in that game, and I got all of them. The first achievement is beat the game, and actually, let me look at the exact dates. I got that achievement on beat the game once on April 17th, 2018. So I got it like several years ago, but April 17th, and I think that took me about a month. I like played it on and off. I usually played it in class, like in the back when I was paying attention. I would just sit there with my like little laptop and my mouse trackpad, and I would just sit there and I would just get over the mouse.
It's a very precise game, but it's one that part of why it is such a good streaming game is that you don't necessarily have to give it that 100% attention.
Yeah, and then I took a break from the game, and then I came back, and I think it took me about a month, but I got over it twice on August 19th, 2018. And then in the span of one more month, so September 13th of the next month, I got it over another 48 times because I went, well, I got over it twice, so I might as well do it the other 48 times to get the achievement. And after that, I got really fucking good at the game. I think it was like my 47th run or something like that. That was when I got 7 minutes, and I was so proud of myself.
Well, I figure after the first couple ones that it starts to get easier pretty quickly because the game does not change. It is not randomly generated or anything. So discovering the path that first time, getting over it that first time is what really takes the effort and just the patience. And from there, it's honestly a very speedrunnable game because it is so precise.
Oh yeah. Once you understand like the controls, it really is just like another like little parkour game, and it's not that hard once you understand like how the physics work and like the muscle memory behind it. Once you have that down, it really is pretty easy. And I don't know the pathing that a lot of speedrunners know. I don't know like, oh, if I put this right here and I time this with the like within the first millisecond, that's because that's how you get like a minute time, and I don't have that. I just am sort of good at it because I did it a lot.
Yeah. So while you are hyper-optimized in your farming sims, you do not care to be hyper-optimized in your speedruns, and you're just going to do you on those.
Nah, I didn't even mean to speedrun it. I don't speedrun that game. I just like playing the game, and I just happen to be quick at it. Yeah. I have no desire to speedrun that game whatsoever. I don't like speedrunning.
Was there a particular obstacle that you remember on your first go-through of that was just...
Fuck the orange.
The orange.
Fuck, there's this one, you go up the slide, and then you go by this bunch of bookcases, and then you go around a few things. There's like a button, there's a lamp, and then there is a table with an orange on it. And you have to knock the orange out, go on the table, and then climb up rocks. And it is literally infamous. Every person I've talked to that has completed getting over it has said, fuck the orange, because the timing on it is so precise, and if you get it wrong, you fall not a lot. So it's not like rage-inducing where you get really angry because you literally went back to the beginning, but it's still a substantial amount, and it's really fucking annoying. It's so stupid. I hate that orange section so much. Sorry, you got me on a rant.
No, hey, I told you, I like getting my guests on rants. That was a good rant right there. Because I've watched a lot of people play that game. I have not actually played it myself. I think I know where that orange is.
It's about halfway.
Yeah, it's about halfway, maybe a little bit past half, but yeah. And just... Gosh,
fuck the orange.
What a game. That's one that... Obviously, you have the narrator that is the developer talking to you, quote unquote, as you play and everything, and that it's just, I developed this game because I wanted to make people mad. I wanted to create frustration of just it. The narration track is super amusing, and I honestly believe him when he says that he just wanted to make something that would, frustrate people and that would cause sort of that entropy. And
yeah, well, not even that. It's like,
did he succeed in what he set out to do?
Well, like, even from, like, a philosophical standpoint, like, you talk about games and you make games to have a reaction to them. So you want a sad game, you want people to be sad. A horror game, you want people to be scared. So all of the games that you create, you have a reaction to. So rage games, you want people to rage. And he succeeded in that. And he did really, really well. And everything that he put in there, from the music that constantly plays that are just, like you fell down the mountain again, and they have a, well, you did it again, try our better next time, shit like that, like, are all there just to piss you off. But like, oh my god, what he talks about is like genuinely very, very interesting. I love like listening to him.
He gets into some really philosophical stuff along the way, and just sometimes you are too blinded by your rage to listen to what he's saying. It's just, you know, shut up, shut up, shut up. But
oh, it's so like, because I love philosophy so much. I love how people think, and like, it's such a good, he talks about such interesting stuff. And
at the same time, you can tell he was just having the time of his life writing this dialogue, that he knew what he was creating and the reactions that people would have. And it's just this very calm, almost scholarly type of thing. But at the same time, it has this little hint of snark in it. And just, it's so well done. The writing, the performance of it all, super underrated part of the game. And it is just a fantastic one that I will continue to enjoy as a viewer and not a player.
God, it's a very, very good game. I love that game
I might pick
so
it up one
much.
day. I don't know, but just, gosh.
It's difficult, but it's very much worth it. But yeah, and I also like that they included at the very end, they included a section that was like, hey, you need to promise that you're not streaming this. You need to only show this screen if you have personally beaten this game, and this is you at the end of the thing by yourself, not showing anyone, which I think is really neat. Because at the end, it's nothing special. I won't go into detail because I respect that he wanted to keep it a secret for those that haven't beaten the game. But I mean, and you can also look it up. People have put online what's at the end of the game. Of course, everyone's done that. But I think it's really neat that he had this little special area for people that have beaten the game and have not just watched it on stream. Like, you have succeeded this task, and you get a little secret, you get a little benefit.
Yeah, that is really cool, and I wonder if what would happen if more games had that, because at the same time. Yes, of course, inevitably, it will be posted first day, no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
But sort of the concept of having that special little thing is a really interesting type of Easter egg that I'm guessing at least one other game has done, but I don't know of any off the top of my head that have had that type of quirk or feature, and just props to him for thinking of that.
It has to be a game that breaks the fourth wall, because it's not very obvious, but it very clearly breaks the fourth wall. He's very aware that this is a video game, and most video games don't do that. So it's very hard for a video game that has super lore intense and very, very like story intense game that goes, hey, you playing this video game right now, don't stream this part. Like, it's very unnatural. So you have to have a very specific game to do that.
Yeah.
Which I think makes it harder.
Well, you have a stream of your own in about an hour, and I want to let you take a break and eat and get ready for that. So before you go, I have just a couple questions that I ask all my guests. One that I normally ask is, what is your favorite meal? But the thing is, I know that your favorite meal is you have your mini tacos and your gummy worms, so I need to think of something.
I have some next to me.
The mini tacos or the gummy worms or both?
Gummy worms.
So I need to have a variant on this, and the variant I'm going to have is, what do you like in the mini tacos that are your favorite, and what, flavor or type of gummy worms, normal, sour, what are your preferences in your staple foods?
Well, first, mini tacos. So I don't know what's in my mini tacos because they're very shitty and from Costco, and I'm pretty sure it's not real meat. But that adds to the flavor, that adds to the effect of eating them, is that they're incredibly fake and not good for you.
Are there different types of fake meat, or is it just this singular?
I think it's chicken
meat stuff.
Maybe. It does not taste like chicken. It does not taste like anything. It is a very, very perplexing flavor, but I love it. So, oh well. And as for sour gummy worms, it's sour because I don't eat candy unless I'm in incredible pain doing it. I eat salt and vinegar chips. I eat only sour candy or spicy candy. That's the only spicy thing I can eat, is if it's spicy candy, like hot tamales and stuff like that. That's it. That's it. I have to eat those. I have to be in pain as I'm eating this sugar.
Do you like things like Sour Patch Kids or other types of sour candy, or does it have to be the gummy worms?
All sour candy. I'm not a fan of like sour, like hard candy because I'm too impatient. Yeah, I'm too impatient to eat them and I just get bored. So I don't really like those, but like sour gummy worms are just my favorite. And like even shit like Altoids. Altoids, I would literally chuck 400 of them in my mouth at the same time and just start eating them over and over again because they're just so good and I liked how strong they were. And now they're literally, they're whatever. They're not even strong anymore, which is really sad.
You're desensitized to them.
Yeah.
The next question I usually ask is, do you drink tea, coffee, both, or neither? And I know you would say no because you don't drink water, you drink Dr. Pepper. So the question I'm going to have as a variant here is, are you a Dr. Pepper purist that it's just the original, or do you ever enjoy, you know, the vanilla ones or the other flavors?
I like the basic bitch one, and that's mainly because I'm too scared to change to try variants. I never try variants on soda or candy or anything. I'm always like the basic bitch because you know what? They succeeded. They built a company off of this soda, so it's gotta be good. I don't trust the vanillas or the cherries or whatever. I don't want those. I want basic bitch Dr. Pepper. That's it.
Basic bitch Dr. Pepper is still a superior soda to the vast majority of other sodas out there, that it's still got that, it's such an original taste that there's obviously many, many variants on it, but for those who haven't had Dr. Pepper, I don't know if there are any, you know, countries or regions where it is not distributed, but it is a very different thing. It's not a cola. It's this weird thing, and they tout that they have 37 flavors. I have no idea what the heck they'd be, but it tastes good, so yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like plum or something like that, which is the main flavor, I'm pretty sure. It's something weird, and it doesn't taste like plum. It's honestly, a very
you could
weird
tell me
flavor.
Almost anything is in that list of 37, and I would probably react with, I could believe it, or just, you know, I could see that, it's possible.
Honestly, yeah.
We're now past the halfway point of the year. Do you have any goals for the remainder of 2021 that, you know, just by the end of the year, by January 1st, 2022, is there anything that you want to do in terms of either projects or just certain goals for yourself, anything in that vein?
I'd like to finish my commissions. Hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have finished my commissions. Hopefully. Please God, let me have finished my commissions. I wanna re-debut with a 3D model, so I can use a 2D and 3D model.
And that way you can finally flip off chat for real.
Exactly! I wanna be partner. That's also that. I have goal, I want partner. But I'm not too stressed about getting that like right now, or if I get in the future, I'm okay with that. And for non-streaming things, yeah, I don't know anything.
Honestly,
my entire life is consumed by streaming.
Hey, there are worse things to have your life consumed by.
That's true. And
finally, what does being a VTuber mean to you?
Oh, I don't know. Do you mean like what's it like being a VTuber, or just what is the definition of VTuber?
What is the definition, but to you, Bri, what does having this outlet, this model mean to you? That I've had some people that are, you know, just, they're at their core entertainers, and they've said being a VTuber is just another tool in my toolbox as an actor and entertainer, and that's that, and that's totally valid. Others have said being a VTuber has allowed me to come out of my shell. I was not confident enough to do IRL streams, and this has allowed me to get into content creation in a way I've never been able to before. There's any number of variants in between, and I will also accept you just saying, you know, I don't know. And that's part of why I asked the question, because everyone has a different answer, and there is, I know it's trite to say, but there is no wrong answer. Everything is valid here.
Well, for me, VTubing, I mean, I was an IRL streamer before I was a VTuber. but I feel a lot more comfortable being behind an anime character just because I know that if anyone weird or uncomfortable comes into my streams and says like uncomfortable things, if it's about what I really look like, I will be affected for a while. If it's about an anime character, then I can still separate myself, you know? So it's a way to like almost protect myself and my like emotions and stuff like that, just in case something happens. And also, I don't have to brush my hair. That's pretty nice. I don't have to worry about putting on like makeup or, you know, changing out of my PJs or anything like that while on camera. I'm just hee anime girl. And that's pretty pog. But first and foremost, I don't know, I'm just a streamer that happens to be anime bunny. That's it, really.
And that's totally valid. And hey, being an anime streamer also lets you move around to all those wonderful different models.
Exactly! What am I gonna do? Put a piece of paper that's just a cookie in front of me? No, that's boring! No, anime girl.
Yes.
Anime cookie with fucking webbed feet.
That's right, you do have webbed feet. I always forget about that.
Yeah.
Before we head out, are there any projects or collabs you want to spotlight? Obviously, we have the stream in an hour. We're going to be rating your friend Noor.
Yeah.
She's got a uncapped subathon going. You have your own horror stories with uncapped subathons that we didn't get to tonight, which I know you're going to be doing a capped subathon sometime, or was it just the continuation of the uncapped one? I forget. The continuation.
I have a 30-hour stream coming up, and
That's
I can't say very much about it because I have plans that are coordinating with other things.
That's very exciting,
but it is coming up very, very soon, and I shall have more information later. But it will be a 30-hour stream. I also have stream tonight. I think that's it. I don't know. Like most of my days are literally just like, I stream. Yeah, I stream.
Yeah, and if you want to stay up to date on her streaming, you can follow her on Twitter and Twitch. The links for both of them are there at the bottom of the screen. Nice and simple. It is BriAtCookiebox. Bri, thank you so much for joining me tonight. This has been a blast. That I have wanted to have you on the show for a while because pretty much since that first Desert Bus stream, I was like, oh yeah, she'd be great as a guest. Oh my gosh.
Hell yeah.
And I had a lot of fun. I hope you had a lot of fun. I hope everyone in the chat has had fun. And I hope you have fun at your stream later tonight. A quick thank you before we go to Shadow Hedgehog 20, Vertigo 724, Aloha Weeb, Erod 2913 for the follows. Really appreciate it. If you care to follow me here on Twitter or here on Twitch or Twitter, please do so. I'm actually going to be going on vacation with my family for the first time in a year and a half. So I'm actually going to miss a couple of weeks for the first time in a while, but I already have my first interview for when I return scheduled. Vtuber Talk is not going anywhere. Don't worry about that. And I hope you all will join me again here in the future for more. Oh, hey, Poppy, you got here just at the end. Yeah, I had Poppy as a guest on about a month ago. Awesome guy.
Yeah, I saw the stream. That's actually what got me into following Poppy, because I saw the stream when I was checking you out when you first DM'd me.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, oh, yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. So follow Poppy as well. Follow Bri, and we're going to be rating Noor. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm Jay. This has been Vtuber Talk, and I will see you all next time.